Hello, my name is Owen Doak. I'm a social science teacher at Maine West High School in Des Plaines, Illinois, and I've created a couple of lessons using the Library of Congress website. The first lesson that I created this summer is the Southern Views of Slavery. This lesson is intended to get the students to really confront two probably misconceptions that they have coming in. I think a lot of students think that Southerners always had slaves, they never changed their attitude toward slavery, and that certainly there were no Southern abolitionists. This lesson is designed to tell this more accurate story of slavery in the South, focusing in on Southern religious leaders in the late 18th century who tried to ban the practice of slavery, and then moving on up in the lesson through Angelina Grimke's primary source from the Library of Congress website, that very clearly attacks the pro-slavery argument and does a really brilliant job of attacking the pro-slavery argument and the attitudes that most other Southerners had. And of course the Grimke sisters were from South Carolina, even though they spent some time, of course, in Pennsylvania with Quakers and abolitionists. But the lesson moves through a pre-teaching of some vocabulary, especially for regular level students, and then it goes into a pre-reading activity and discussion. Then the students go ahead and read alone or with a partner several rather simple excerpts, and then at the end of the lesson you go back to those pre-reading questions and state whether they were they still believe. One example, for example, is number 4, I asked the students, because of geography and the profitability of labor-intensive cash crops, it was inevitable that slavery would become essential to the Southern way of life in the antebellum era. Before the lesson, I think a lot of students would say, yes, that sounds true, that slavery was inevitable and essential to the Southern way of life. After reading it, hopefully they see that there were other choices and that nothing in history is inevitable, even something as entrenched as slavery became in the antebellum era. The big reading, the big primary source reading from the Library of Congress is from Angelina Grimke's Appeal to the Christian Woman of the South. I've included a little bit of an introduction to who Angelina Grimke and her sister Sarah, who they were, and then I included extensive excerpt from the primary source itself, with several questions for discussion and writing attached to that. This primary source is most well suited for accelerated or advanced placement students. It's an extensive source, as I've mentioned already, and some of the vocabulary is very challenging. So it's really almost 2 lessons. The first lesson on the movement against slavery in the South, and then the second lesson from the 1830s, which was a response to the pro-slavery argument and the extensive reading on Angelina Grimke.